Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I got another white paper review here for you, Dehoot Valley. Now, this one actually got my attention. It didn't initially. I first looked at it and thought it was a bit of a, I don't know, cookie cutter one. But the more and more that I'm reading into this, the more it's catching my attention. If you are a fan of SimCity, uh, anything along those lines, building cities, producing, managing, you may want to take a look at this one. That's basically the intro that I'm going to do for this. Before we go ahead and jump into the review itself, two things I wanted to note. I am so close to 1,000 subscribers. So I'm doing a push right now to get there. At the time of this recording is Thursday. You're probably watching this Saturday morning. I am less than 20 subscribers away from 1,000. So if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do. I don't ask very often, but if you do, we're trying to get to that 1,000 mark. Also, just got to throw the disclaimer out there. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please make sure you do your own research. Please make sure it's right for your situation. Don't just listen to me because I made a video on it. Let's go ahead and dive in there. Like I said, this is giving me the SimCity vibe, but with NFT form. It's probably the closest with their long-term vision that I've seen to that. And I grew up and I played a lot of that game, so this is pretty exciting for me. What is it? This is basically a initially is right now it's a staking game. You get the different products, you build the different buildings, and you stake them. The long-term vision is what has me excited. So I'll get to that here in a second. Basically, what you're trying to do is build a city, manage the city, and bring tourists in there and make money from the city. Is the short answer. They have a decent. Oh, I didn't want to click on that. I was hoping they'd have a selection of the buildings that you could see there, but I didn't really want to go on the market. Basically, what you're doing is you're getting the raw supplies initially, and you're going to use those raw supplies to build buildings on the land that you have. And then you upgrade the buildings, and you upgrade the buildings, and you upgrade the buildings, and eventually you're going to have this huge city that in theory you can manage and build different things. What your city will do is it'll earn the native token, which is Hoot token. And then obviously the Hoot token you can take on the secondary market, or you can use it in game down the road to purchase additional resources and blueprints and so forth. At an initial look, you think, oh, I just need resources, then build and stake, and I'm done. There is much more to the long-term vision of this, which is the reason why I've gotten excited the more I read. Right now, we are in the very, very early stages of this game. So keep that in mind when we're talking about it. There's a lot more to come. And what's here on the third floor, and I guess part of the second floor is what has me excited for this one. Um, r- right now, you get your resources, you can get your packs, you get your buildings, and you stake those buildings, and you earn Hoot coin. Down the road, they're going to have new buildings, new maps, and it's when we get into this, the world creation, and when we get into the actual really putting your city together, and it looks like a very 3D version of it. That's what gets me pretty excited about this game. Let's jump over to the white paper, and I'll show you why there's a lot more to this game than what I initially thought and what you may have initially thought about the game. Again, what you're doing is you're building out a city. Initially, you collect the resources, which are currently bought in packs, either on the secondary market or if you're part of the pack sale that's already dropped. That's how you get your resources. You take your resources and you build different buildings. Once you have those buildings down the road, you'll have the ability to, right now you have the ability through staking, but you have the ability through other means down the road to earn the native Hoot coin, which is essentially what I had mentioned previously. Tokenomics, I'm not going to dive too far into it, but I like that at 65% of it goes back into the community. Actually, more than that with the airdrops and liquidity and so forth. So keep that in mind. They do have a whitelist item. Not going to cover this too far. You can get this on the secondary market right now. This is what I wanted to get into. This is the Most games that are similar to this, you have three different things. You have wood, you have food, you have gold, or something along those lines, some sort of metal. You have three resources that you put together and you build out. As you can see by this list here, there are many more resources, many more internal to the game types of products that you need in order to build, which adds some complexity to it. If you're looking for the simple click to earn style game, may not be the right option for you. If you're looking for the detailed, build your own, get into it, really like a game, this is where it gets interesting from my perspective. I'm not going to go through each of the individual resources. It would just take too much time to go through that. But I encourage you to take a look at it. I like their little explanation for some of these. I like their little uh, thing that makes me think there's going to be disasters and issues down the road as far as keep the wood away from fires, things like that. And then it also, not only do you have these resources here, but you also turn these resources into other resources. You refine them. You basically turn them into concrete because you're going to use a lot of concrete throughout it. You turn it into wood planks, which they have formulas for each of those. Both, oops, sorry, didn't mean to do that. Basically, two pieces of wood plus the tool, which we'll get here in a second, makes wood planks that you use to build your buildings. So there's a lot of complexity here. They have the different tools. They have furnaces, the processors, that you build from your resources. Then you can use that to produce additional ones. This part has a little bit of a Million on Mars vibe to it. If you're looking strictly at the NFT side of the world, you have these different buildings that in together can go from producing very, very raw materials to products that you can use for other things. I like that. I like those kind of levels. There's strategy to it. You can't just put you can't just put 10 of one building in there and be successful. You have to basically put the series of buildings, you got to build them out. You got to make sure they're working. You got to build enough residents, that you have enough people that allow enough jobs there. You need the blueprints. They have different blueprints that are available. They're even throwing doomed or actually basically super rare blueprints that are going to be down the road, that are researched through their university. It's pretty cool. They also have different lands. The different lands allow you to make different types of buildings. Down the road, residential, like I mentioned, these are where people live there. A couple different types. These are critical because you need people in order to do different jobs. They have commercial. This is how you earn your Hoot coin and basically fund everything. Hotels bring in tourists, restaurants, office buildings, just a lot of complexity here but I keep saying complex, but it's in a good way. It keeps you interested. It keeps you trying to achieve. A lot of these, as I keep referring to, the click to earn that have three different types of buildings or tools or whatever it is, it gets boring really fast. And that's why they can't keep sustaining those games. In addition to that, as I mentioned, they have different industries. I'm going to do future videos on this. I wanted to keep this at a very high level just to get your attention, because I think people need to get a little more attention around this game. The population is critical. I keep saying that. They have different utilities throughout it, different jobs. You need people to do the different jobs. There's education, there's tourism. There's going to be a lot to this. And jumping back to the current state of the game, in order to get your resources, they have a number of different packs that are available. Just like with any NFT game, you need some sort of pack really to get it started. Each one comes with different types of materials. You have the rusty cargo, which gives you the bare essential raw materials: the cement, the wood, the clay. Then you get into the basic cargo, which actually gives you blueprints and gives you land to build your buildings on. So in order to get started, you need to at least have either the basic cargo or buy the components individually. Then you start getting the bigger packs that have more and more resources. Just skimming through these pretty quickly, you have the specialist cargo that comes with a significant amount of land that you can pretty much start your city on that, plus mixtures, plus the tools. Then you get into the train cargo, which gets even bigger. Um, and this is basically the spawn, right? This is again the neat thing. Basically, when you're pulling it out there, this is the rates that you're going to get certain levels of materials in there. Um, I know I went through this fast. It was meant to go through it fast, just to give you a high level. Again, get this on your radar if you like these kind of games. I would love to go ahead and jump into this to really test it out. Once it gets to the point where it's beyond just the staking, let me quick jump into what they currently have in the game right now, just to show you that right now it is the early stage. It is the staking. You stake your buildings, your residential ones, your specialty buildings. Not a ton of details. They have you can buy crates coming soon through with Hoot. Um, just more to come with this. Get it on your radar. Keep an eye on it if you like this kind of game. Um, my personal thoughts. I think I've been pretty transparent through this video as far as what I think. I think it has a lot of potential. Obviously, they need to implement their said plan in order for me to actually really get high on it. I just want to keep it on your radar. If they start implementing all these different items that they have in the white paper and their long-term vision, I think it's going to be an interesting project. I really do. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Please let me know down below what your thoughts are of this game, how you think it may compare to like a SimCity. I can see from, if you remember from the SimCity perspective, you not only had to build the buildings, but you had to balance the buildings so you could get the right level of workers there, and build it up, have the right utilities there. I see resemblance of this in the game, at least so far of what they've had in the white papers. Keep an eye on it. Hope you all have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.